Good morning, everyone. Hi, Holly. How are you? Nice to see you all this morning. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. Oh, no, 1 minute late. I was, hi, Kim. How are you? Hi, Marlene. Yeah, I was a couple of minutes late getting on. I was having problems. I had two of me, and if I spoke, I was getting like I don't know how it was happening, to be quite honest, but I was getting a like an echo of myself, which was wonderful. Not. Anyway, I think I've sorted it. So can you just hear one of me? You can't hear two of me. One of me is bad enough. You don't want to hear two of me, I can tell you. Oh dear. The trials and tribulations of doing live videos. It's all good fun though. Just goes to show that everyone's human and we can't always get it right. Hi Sue, how are you this morning? It's so good to see everybody. Now, why is that not moving? Okay. Donna, good morning. How are you? It's really good to see you all. Okay, so we are, what's the date today? The 18th. So we've only got until the 31st for the 15% off of our selected products with the new in colors in. You're on time. Don't worry, I wasn't. I was a couple of minutes late because I was having all sorts of problems. But anyway, yes, so we've only got a little bit of time left. Hello, Mum. Good to see you. So anyway, hopefully it's all sorted out and you're not hearing two of me because, like I said, that would be. It's cold in Melbourne. It was actually quite cold here today, Donna. When I got up this morning, it was 7 degrees. So that was a bit cool. Hi, Sheila. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you all for joining me this morning. All right. So, like I said, not finished yet, but coming to the end of the 15% off of the select in color products. That's any product that has the new in colors in them, has the 15% off. And of course, if you're a demonstrator, you not only get that 15%, but you also get your 20 or 25% discount on top of that, which means basically, what is it, 15, 35%, 35 or 40% off. So, can't go wrong, can you? So I've stocked up on a few things and I'm sure other people have as well. And I'm just looking at my desk and I see my mother's on here and I think she's going to go, your desk looks a mess again. All right. So what are we doing today? I want to call it a winged card. I have cased it from Simply Simple Stamping. And it's a little bit different. So yeah, there we go. All right, I'm just trying to keep an eye on what's going on in the chat as well. I've actually had an idea that if I was to put my phone in here and put it on just the chat side, I could watch it easier because we don't get to see everything on the screen here. So yeah. So the card that I'm going to be making today is a bit different. Let me go down to there we go. Now, I've got to work out where my camera is in comparison to everything else. Looks like I'm working at the back today. Seriously, it's weird. Sorry about that. I hope I'm not making you seasick. There we go. That will work. No, it won't. It's too. I don't know. Let's come in a bit closer. There we go. Hopefully that will Is that okay, everybody? All right, so this is the card that I'm making today. So it sort of sits like that. So like that. It's different, and when when you send it, you can either send it like that or like that. Yeah, it's just one of those that you're just going to hope that they work out how to stand it up when you actually send it. So without too much ado, I'm going to cut the cards. I'm using Real Red. I'm using, oh goodness me, I left it here. What's it called? This designer series paper is Botanical Textures, and it is still current. So we can use it and know that whatever I use on here today is current. So I'm going to use these colors here. And I'm going to start off by cutting the card base. So the card base is 5.5 by 8.5. So let's do 5.5 by 8.5. And that's going to be our card base. Now, I don't need to put this away just yet, because what we have to do now is we have to do some scoring. So we start off with the short side at the top, and we're going to score at 1.25. Make sure that blade is out of the way. So we're going to score at 1.25. And then we're also going to score at 4.25. So that takes us either side. And then we're going to score, we've turned it now lengthways, so we're going to score it at 4.25, which is halfway. We're going to score along there. Okay. Now, I've just got to try and work this out. So, one 3/4 and then 2.25. We're going to come in 1 3/4 from this side. And we're just going to I'm going to score down there. Just let me have a quick look. No, we're not. We're going to score just between those two lines that we have there. So we're going to score 1 there, and then 2.25. So it's only a very small. I can hear my cats fighting out there. And my husband's gone out. So we're going to score in between there like that. Now, it's just gone over a little bit at the bottom, but that's okay. I'm going to have to, and then I'm going to turn it around, and we're going to do the same the other side. So we're coming in 1 3/4, and we're just going to score between these two lines here. So 1 there, and then we go 2.25. So it's only a small amount. I think I went a little bit over there as well, but never mind. Okay, so I don't know. Can you see those scores on there? I think you can just see them. That is, that's what our scores are going to be. So now we're going to cut. We're going to turn it back this way. We're going to put that line there, these long lines, into the score. Now we're going to cut from here to here, lift it over that, sorry, from here to here, lift it over that section there, and then we're going to score all the way along there to there, lift it, come back down here and score across there. And we're going to do that both sides. Okay, so let me pop that in the score line, that blade out of the way, and I'm going to come down to here. I'm going to lift the blade, just miss that little bit and come right the way along to here, lift the blade and cut there. Now let's see what we've done. See if we've got it. Yep, we've got it. Okay, now we're going to do exactly the same on this side. So I'm going to make sure that's up there. Cut down, lift it, put it back down, right the way along, lift it, down and off. So that gives us the score lines that we were wanting. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to fold that way, and then we're just going to pull these back like that and like that. Give them a good score. So what happened? We need to also. So what happens now is we pull up this middle bit, and these will drop down. Now this is the part that she said was a little, and you can fold it in like that, and that now gives you. It basically does that itself. Okay. So you've got your little ones here now, you've got the big ones, and there is the card. So it is quite simple to do, and it does fold, it does come in and do that bit on its own, which is really good because I was a bit worried about that bit. And there you go. So there's the card. So now we've just got to cut some bits and pieces to go on it. So just for these, just for the top pieces up here, I'm going to cut a mat and then the actual piece. So let's move that out of the way. So the actual piece, I need 6 pieces at 4 inches by 1 inch. Now, I don't think this is directional. So we're going to go 1 inch. Now that's going to go across the top, so that's fine. 1 inch. And 4 inches wide. Oh, it turned itself over. So we're going to go, and I'm going to do 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hardly any waste at all. And I'm going to do 4 mats, and the mats need to be 3 3/4 by 3/4. So what I'm going to use this as the mat, which is the opposite side to that one. So I'm going to cut this at 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to also cut. Who did that the wrong way around? Can we do that? Will it still look okay? Sure, let's do it. I'm not going to change it now. By, what do I want? 3 3/4. So 1, 2. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Thank you for joining me. 3 3/4. There. The plan was actually to have the lighter bit on the top, but we're going to have the darker bit on top. So these will now sit on top of here, and they will sit in this area here. So I'm sort of going for the black and the red today. 1, 2. Actually, what I might do is 2 of those. Let me cut. That'll be those 2, which will go on the... No, we'll keep going with what we're doing. So I just need 3 more at 3/4. By 3 3/4. So I was having a conversation with a lady yesterday, and it turned out that this person, what am I doing? That one was much too long. That was supposed to be 3 3/4, and that's what I get for talking. And now this one's not going to be long enough. 3/4. I'll finish this, and then I'll tell you about this conversation. Right, that's got those cut. So that's my long pieces per se. And then I want 2 pieces at 2 3/4 by 1 5/8. So I'm going to do this one the other way around. So let me see. Two and 3/4, 2 3/4. That's going to go the wrong way. Let me turn this up. Okay, 2 3/4 by 1 5/8. And this is actually a case in point of what I'm going to tell you in a moment. So I've got 2 of those, and then I just want a couple of pieces on this one, which are going to be 2 1/2 by 1 3/8 by 1 and 1 2 3/8 and 1 and 3/8. So those two will go on there like that. Okay, so that'll sort of like offset the other one. And then I'll cut the rest. Oh, I need 2 very skinny pieces, which I'm just going to do on the white. On this light one, I don't want it to be too dark. So these are 3/8 of an inch by 2 3/4. Which way do I want them? That way. So we're going to go 3/8 of an inch, which is there. I only want 2 of these. Actually, that didn't cut. Where are we? 2 3/8, which is there. I don't know whether that's straight or not. There's not a line for it, so let me tiny take that back down there. Hopefully that's 3/8 of an inch by 2 3/4. Now I'm not even going to attempt to make a mat for this. I would have to be crazy to even attempt it. Now let me see, are they equal? Yep, they are. So that's my 2 little bits as well. So we'll start sticking stuff together. So I was talking to a lady yesterday, and she was saying to me that she watches videos and what have you, and she would absolutely love to do card making, but she couldn't be dealing with all the measuring. So the measuring just put her right off of doing card making, which is quite a shame, isn't it? So I said to her, I said, you don't actually have to measure anything. I was sort of explaining to her over the phone that you can get a piece of A4 card and you can cut it in half and you can fold that in half and there's your card. And then you can do whatever you want on the front of it. So I'll sort of do it. Well, you got your A4. So, you know, if you cut your A4 in half, say this is your piece of A4, you cut it in half here, right? So you've cut it in half and then you just fold it. There's your card. There's your card. And there's no measuring involved at all. And then you can cut a mat. So all you have to do is cut that again in paper. So you can cut that piece and then just take 1/4 of an inch if you want to, or you don't even have to measure. You can, as long as you take the same off of there as you do there, you're going to get an equal mat. So you could take 1 inch off of there and 1 inch off of there if you wanted to have a mat in the middle. Or failing that, of course, you could just use die cuts, nesting dies. So I'm thinking that I may have changed this lady from not wanting to do card making simply because of all the measuring. And it got me to wondering how many people are actually like that. Like how many people are put off by the measuring side of things. And it's sad, but then some people don't like doing that sort of thing. So I'm just layering these up. It doesn't look too bad with the white on the underneath. So what do we think? Does anybody, is anyone else put off by the measuring? I mean, I must admit, like if I'm doing something and I just want it to mat, I just know that I've got to take 1/4 of an inch off, and off the top and off the side on one side, and I've got what I need. But you know, hi Lynn, how are you? Kits are a good start, and that was one of the other things that I said, Sheila. You know, get a kit, or you know, do like card buffets or whatever, where everything is cut for you and you just put it together. That's true too, Sue. The ephemera packs are really good for that. So it was just a bit of a surprise to hear that that was the only reason why this person didn't want to make cards, was because she thought she had to do all this measuring. And it's like I said, there are no rules. There's no rules. There's no you must do this. If you want a piece of card, and any size piece of card, and just cut it in, fold it in half, and you have what you think looks like a great card to you, then decorate the front of it. This person absolutely loves, you know, like the whole decorating part of it, but is not wanting to do all the measuring. And it's not because she can't do it. It's more she gets frustrated with it. So yeah, so there you go. It's interesting, isn't it, how to find out what people like and what they dislike. So just putting these all together, and then I'll put them on the card. And it's like I said, you know, we've all made cards where once we finished them, we thought, well, they're never going to see the light of day again. I know I have. So this one now, I've swapped it over, and I'm putting, oh, now I've got sticky on my fingers. Good morning, Tanya. Oh, 10-day trip. I remember when my son went on his first school trip, I cried my eyes out. But that was me. You call them samples. All right, so we've got those two, and those ones I don't have a mat for because there was no way I was going to attempt that. I'm sure it can be done, but yeah, I think it would be easier just doing it with. So now, if I just put the card flat, again, we can see, so we're going to put one of these here. We're going to put one here, and one here. And then we're going to put on the other side, so which is the front of the card. So the front of the card is a bit awkward with how you want to decorate it. And you can really do what you like with it. I think I'd like a bit of decoration on it. So just putting these in here like this. I know how you feel, Tanya. I do. It's funny because my son lives about not even a 10-minute drive up the road from me. And because he works and the children go to school and my daughter-in-law works, and they drive past here a couple of times a day, but I still don't see them that often. It's sort of like I make appointments to see them. We probably see them more when Mum's staying, because they bring the children over to see Grammy. But I think because they know that Grandma just lives a little way down the road, it's not so necessary. I do take my oldest grandson to music on every second Thursday. So we've got those four on there. Now, I'm just going to turn it. What you can do if you want to is you can send this card like that. So you just fold it the wrong way, but obviously, yeah. So this is going to be the front. So I'm just going to put one on each of these. One there. Actually, I don't mind that with the black on the top. Oh dear, everyone's going. Yeah. Well, I was discussing with Mum on the phone the other day about Christmas, and usually at Christmas, now I've turned that back over and I'm going to put those two, one there and one there. Oh, sorry, one there and one there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that right up to that line there so that it's actually in line down here. And you'll see in a minute when I put that little piece on, you'll see that we've actually still got a gap in between, which is really good. Where did that line come from? Oh, probably when well, there you go. I'll just pop that one on there so you can see it lines up down here. And then I'll do this one this side. So taking it right up to that crease line, which lines it up down here, and we can see that's about as straight as a dog's hind leg, but that's okay. And now we're going to put these two pieces on, and they're going to go in here. So you can see it still leaves that little bit of red. Oh, really, Sheila? I was talking to Mum about it, and Mum lives in Bundaberg, which is about an hour to an hour and a half to hour and a quarter to an hour and a half north of me. And so Christmas is always a, well, what are we going to do? Who's going to go to who? Blah, blah, you know, all the thing. And to be quite honest, I'm really not. Tanya, don't encourage her. I'm really not wanting to travel over Christmas this year. So I've said to Mum, right, we'll have the week before Christmas. Is that going to go that way or that way? No, it's going to go that way. The week before Christmas, we'll go on up to Bundaberg and we will go out for a lunch. So that's my mum and my brother and myself and my niece, if she can make it, but she's possibly going to be working, and so will her partner. So yeah. And then what we'll do, we will not see them at Christmas. Christmas Day, I will see my son and the kids early in the morning. That's if they're going to be there. I haven't spoken to them yet. And then Kevin and I will come home and we will act like old fogies. Kevin said, I'll go in my shed, you can go in the craft room. I said to him, that sounds like a wonderful plan. So, so for Christmas, that is what we're going to do. Isn't it, Mother, if you're still listening? I'm sure she is. She's in the background. Right, so now I want two pieces for here. So the sizes that I want for there are 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. I've got some black here. We got 2 3/4. Oh, look at that. So we've got 2 3/4. by 1 3/4. Now I'm using this as the mat. Oh, that's good. I like it when I can use bits out of my bit box. So those two are going to go there, and then I'm just going to use a bit of white. What have we got in here? We've got some pieces. So that was 1 3/4. So this is what I was saying. 1 3/4. Take off a quarter, so take it down to 1 1/2. By 2 3/4. So 2 3/4. Sorry, 2 3/4. Take it down to 2 1/2, and that gives you your mat. Now with those, you might not want to mat those because it doesn't give you a huge bit to write on. But let's go 2 1/2. If we're just gonna stamp, and we can always put something on the back if we want to for writing on. So I'm just going to put those together, but I want to stamp on these first. So I've got the, I don't know if this is still current or not. This is the Unbounded Love. I could have a look, I suppose. You're off to your brother's place. Yeah, we've sort of done. Oh, things might change due to a surprise phone call, my mother has just told me. So we will see what's happening. There, Mum, I tried to plan it early and you're going to change it, aren't you? Oh, well, just ignore that whole last part of the conversation about Christmas because I'm not sure it's going to go that way now. All right. So let's, I don't know if this is still current, but it's got some nice stuff in it. So let me have a look. I like the hope and the faith, but I don't want to put the other bits in. So let me put happy birthday. Let's do the happy birthday. Oh, I've got some other news for you as well that I must tell you. Is that going to fit on there? Yep, that'll fit on there. Just let me get the real, actually, no, I think what I'll do is get Secret CL, because that's my new black, and just, actually, no, we're going to go with real red. Of course we are. There we go. Keep it in the, so I'm going to put happy birthday on one of these. With the real red. Is it going to fit? Well, I'm not going to put that on there because it doesn't fit. It would have just, no. New plan. You do yours like that, Sarah? Yeah. I mean, normally we don't mind. And often, you know, we'll head down to Caboolture, which is a couple of hours drive further down. And sometimes we'll do that and have Christmas with my friend. But I really, the roads really are bad. What does that say? That says Faith. I want the one that says hello, because I think that'll fit. Let's do best of luck, and I'll leave the other one. I'll leave the other side. That's going to fit, isn't it? Yes, it is. I'll leave the other side clear, and that's where they can write on that one there. Let me just, yep, that's beautiful. So I'm just going to put best of luck. You alternate too. Yeah. And I mean, like, you know, our kids' partners have also got parents. So they need to spend time with both sets of parents. You can't be greedy and say, oh no, it's just got to be me. So that's, I try and work in with my son and his wife as well. Okay, so that is just going to go on there. I'm just going to put something on there in a minute, and I'm just going to layer this piece up. That's just going to go on there. So when we were young, Mum used to do, you know, all the cooking at Christmas and whatever. And my dad was at sea, and put that one there. And sometimes he wasn't home for Christmas, but most of the time he did manage to get home. I think I can only remember a couple that he wasn't home. And eventually one Christmas, Dad said, that's it. He said to Mum, he said, you're not going to spend the whole day cooking and the day before and everything. He said, from now on, we'll go out for Christmas lunch. And so that's what we always did. They would book somewhere and we would all go out for Christmas lunch, which was lovely. We used to really enjoy it. So, but then one year when we lived in Mackay, Mum doesn't eat a lot of seafood, but she decided that she would try an oyster. And it really didn't do her any good at all, and she ended up in bed. So, yeah. But yeah, so that's sort of what we used to do in latter years as kids, because Dad didn't want Mum spending all that time in the kitchen. The only thing with it was is if you do it that way, you haven't got your pickies. My dad was a very thoughtful man. He was he was a very good father and an excellent husband to my mum. And I know she's on here, but I know she'll totally agree. So, okay, that is what we have so far for our card. Okay, so I think that looks quite good in the black and red. I was a little bit worried when I did these two the wrong way round, but every Christmas day, just you and Mum. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. And yes, yeah, Mum and Dad and even Kevin and I, if we've had people living close to us that haven't got families, we've invited them for Christmas when Dad was still alive, and we used to have Christmas in Harvey Bay, and then quite often Mum would invite the lady from next door over because she didn't have family, and Kevin and I have done that too. So there's the card. Now, the thing is, sending it, you can send it like that, but you sort of, you know, got that there. Or you can turn it inside out and you're left with that. So I think that these two here should be decorated in some way. Okay. I'm probably not going to decorate this one. I might do it later and see. But, you know, it does look a bit bare, doesn't it, on that front? Where if you put that in the envelope like that and they open that up, it doesn't look particularly wonderful. But if you do it that way, you can post it that way, and then it's sort of like, oh, what's this? Okay. So I think that is probably the best way. Oh, that's the paper underneath. That's probably the best way to post it, to pop it in the envelope, if you don't want to do anything on these areas here. Alrighty, so there you go. That is today's card. For anyone who didn't make it last night, and I have to thank everyone who did come on. I was so surprised that so many people actually came on last night. But this was a card that I made last night, and this one has a secret area to it. So when you open it up, it looks just like a normal card. You've just got a card. Okay, there's the back of it. There's the front of it. These are just slipped in there like that. Okay, actually it went that way, but anyway. So that's the card. However, if you close it and you open it, look at that. You watched the replay, Holly. So it has a secret compartment. Now you could, you know, fold up some money and put in there. You could send a special little message in there, all sorts of things. And it just pulls out, and you would never know that that was there. It just actually comes out like a straight card. I mean, there's nothing there to really tell you that that will open up like that. So this was one I didn't really use measurements particularly last night, because this was one of those cards that I originally made many years ago, and I basically cut a piece of A4 in half, folded it, blah blah blah, and that was what I got. Okay, so it's really quite sweet, isn't it? So another one that I do, and I will do it, I don't know if you've seen them, is the wallet. I did have one sitting here. It's a wallet where you open it like that, and the money's on one side, but then you open it the other way and the money's the other side. So yeah, so that was last night's impromptu card. I found it because I was going through some stuff, and I just thought, oh, there's a card in there. There's actually another one that I'm going to do as well, from years ago. And, you know, I bet when I put them away, I thought, you'll never use them again, Lorraine. Marlene, you made one years ago as well. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, how some of these things sort of are coming back and we're able to use them again. But we really didn't do all the measuring that, you know, that we do now. It was a case of, you know, if it fits, use it. And we made some beautiful cards. Let me have a quick look. I know I've got one here somewhere that I made many years ago. Here. I made this one many, many years ago. Let's take it out of there. You haven't watched it yet? Have a watch. Yep. So basically what I do is, if I feel like going on a Sunday night, I do. And if I don't, I don't. And I don't usually put the schedule up until about half an hour beforehand. This is a card that I made many years ago. Basically, there was no measuring. It was just cutting paper, sticking on, well, all the sorts of things that we used to stick on back then. And of course, we always used to put a paper center in. And I've still got a great big folder with sayings in here. So instead of doing it how we do now, where we just put the centerpiece in, again, just a piece of copy paper. That's all that is, piece of copy paper stuck in there, and we'd stamp, or I actually used to do them on the computer, and you know, they'd be typewritten in there. So, you know, the card looks just as pretty as the cards we do with all the measuring, and that is what I'm actually probably going to do. I'm thinking I might just do one live where I don't use any measurements at all. I just use die cuts and what have you. So yeah, so there is today's. Oh, I was going to put something on there, and I've got to put some bling. You need to remind me, girls, that I forget about bling. So red, we don't have much in the red, but I'm thinking we could add some gold. We could probably even use those drusies. What else would go on there? The pearls. Actually, that's red in there. I haven't used many of these. These are faux glass dots. I don't even know if they're still current, but we could use the red on there. All right. So what do we think? I'm going to put the drusies away because the gold on there is more yellow and I like the gold. So we've got these ones here, which are the basic grey smoky slate pearls. Please don't shoot the messenger. I don't know if they're all still valid. Flower accents, which are the gold. And then we've got the faux glass dots, and we could use the red. So Mum says gold. Oh, yes, bling, Tanya. Mum says the gold. I think that would probably, it's more shiny than the other two. You could use that card more than once. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. Okay, let's go gold. Let's go gold. I'm sure my mum sits there and waits for me to say what. So I'm just going to put, I might put 5 on today because I'm thinking I'm going to put one down in here because I think we need something there. And then 1, oh, where? 2, 3. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to, that's all right, we'll end up with 7, but that's fine. I just thought, let me move these maybe more to the middle. The middle array, not 1, 2, 3, and then move this to the middle a bit more. 1, 2, oops, come on, can't pick it up. 3. So we'll just sort of have that blingy bit there and there. Oh, lovely, Sheila. Playtime, yes, awesome. Okay, so the other thing I was going to tell you, so that's our card. Actually, no, it's not. I'm not finished. I know, how exciting. I am just going to go over these leaves here. Why won't that squeeze? Ah, there it is. These leaves in here. Now, you could actually colour these if you wanted to. But I just wanted to go over them with the Wink of Stella. You have to be on my case, people. I do forget. Okay. Now, tomorrow, I'm not sure what time I'll be on. I have a house inspection. Oh, joy. And the time that they've given me is somewhere between 9 and I think it's 11:30 or something or the other. So until they've been, I can't really come online. So if you're able to just keep an eye on, and I'll post it up as soon. I'm hoping that they're going to come early, which means I can probably go at this time again because Suzanne's not going to be able to at the moment with her internet not done. I'm hoping that they get it like usable quite quickly for her. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Okay, so all I've done there is just gone over. Bye, Lynn. Okay, so we've just got a bit of glitter there. All right, so. Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, Kim, you're right. Absolutely. Talking about the mason jar one. Okay, right. So that's today. Now, let me come back up to the top camera. There we go. Remember the other day I told you that when I pulled the sticker off, the thing off of my board, it broke, which it did. See, it's still really, really sticky. Really sticky. It literally broke in two. So down here. So I contacted Stamping Up and I said, look, it's probably a long shot, but I was just wondering, am I able to buy just one stamp? And I said from a set, because I told her what had happened and she said, oh my goodness, no. She said that shouldn't have happened. She said they should be able to withstand a reasonable amount of, you know, pulling and what have you. And I said, well, I couldn't get it up, but it's stuck so tightly. So she said, we're going to send you another one. So they're sending me a whole new one of these because one stamp snapped. How awesome is that? How many companies would do that? I would have been happy if they could have just given me a little, you know, folded into a piece of, what do you call it? You know, this sort of paper and sent me one stamp. I would have been happy, but of course they can't do that because they'd have to take it out of a whole kit. So there we go. All right, everybody. So everything has been working out just fine. So lovely. You get notifications. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's really good. It is great news, isn't it? It is amazing. So Sheila, I was actually, yeah, second to none. You know, I know it wasn't my fault, but that had stuck really hard onto here. And I said to her, I said, you know, I was actually trying to prise it up from both ends. And then when I let go, one end smacked back down and I was still lifting the other and it just snapped. And she said, no, that should never have happened. So they're sending another one. Absolutely fantastic customer service. There was no argument. There was no, you know, what did you do or anything like that. It was just a straightforward, nope, that shouldn't have happened. We'll send you a new one. So absolutely fantastic. All righty, people, I am going to go. I will see you all at some time tomorrow. I'll do it whenever I can. Now, it was tomorrow, Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm working as always, and then I'm also working on Thursday this week, and I'm doing a full day. So I'll just see how I go. If I have a card ready to go and it's quite a simple one, I might come on Thursday evening once I get home. Yeah, so we'll just see how I go. Depends how busy I am and whether the dogs will give me a run around or not. So yeah, so that's me this week. I'm a little bit up and down, don't really know, but I will let you all know. And for those of you that are on my Facebook page, Color Me Crazy Cards, it's actually on the, if you go into the see more box underneath, you'll see where you can get into that. I usually put it up there if I'm going to go live. My week sounds like, oh, it's an awkward week this week. But then next week I just work the Wednesday. And then guess what, guys? I retired. So, yeah. So instead of retiring just when I turned 67, I've done a few more weeks, months, couple of months, but that's good. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Please be careful on the roads. Take care of yourself and take care of yours. And I will see you all sometime tomorrow. And I'm going to ring my mother now and find out what this secret phone call's all about. So there you go. All righty. Bye for now.